how Jimmy Garoppolo looks.
Yeah.
And we just gave Trey Lance a lot of praise. I want to say Jimmy Garoppolo looks fantastic.
Good.
Jimmy, if you're watching, you look terrific today. And it was a pleasure talking to you in the press conference. Jimmy is new Jimmy now.
Yeah.
I feel like before you could almost hear Bill Belichick editing his answers in press conferences, even when he was on the Niners, or he was really trying to please people or be this kind of bland CEO, corporate type and say nothing. And he realizes that got him nothing in life. It got him $90 million, but now he's getting pushed out the door. And so all of a sudden he he cursed twice. He gave like the Jimmy Ward interview today. I was like, oh my God, Jimmy Garoppolo is a personality there. So I like Jimmy. Good job, Jimmy. I wish you nothing but the best. Honestly, we have said a lot of stuff about Jimmy because he's the quarterback of the Niners, but he really seems like a decent person. I just want to say that.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, the way that he's handled this whole situation, he couldn't have handled it better. He's a true professional. He really has been professional.
And a nice guy from what I can tell. Anyway, he looked terrific today, 9 of 11. Doesn't throw deep, but what he is doing, which is very interesting, is all of a sudden he's making a point to do some off-schedule throws. Hold the ball and roll right. Roll out to your left. He did both. And made really nice throws on the run. And that's something he just didn't do in practices or games the past few years. And I feel like it's the Trey Lance effect. I asked him, like, is playing with Trey Lance bringing out the best in you? And he's like, absolutely not. If you need those kind of outside challenges and forces, he's like, no, dude, I don't know. Because I've watched him and I love Nick Mullins, but Nick Mullins can't compete with Jimmy Garoppolo physically. So Jimmy can just hang in the pocket and make the throws that he can make and still look like the best quarterback on the field. Now, Jimmy can't compete with Trey Lance physically. He can't throw the ball down the field like Lance. He can't move like Lance. And for Jimmy to have a chance to hang in these practices and feel good about himself as a competitor, he has to extend himself and do some of the things that Lance does. And he did today. He used to do them before he hurt his knee. I don't know if he was worried about his knee or he was just playing it conservative, but today he was moving and throwing on the run, and God love him. I don't know if you heard Kyle Juszczyk in his little press conference, but he mentioned that. He even said, if you want to be a good quarterback in today's NFL, you have to be able to do off-schedule stuff. Have to.
Yes.
And
I was actually just going to bring that up.
I
couldn't remember if it was him or Debo because I just watched all of them. You're absolutely right. And the fact that he's starting to incorporate that is very encouraging. If he does end up being the starter, this is great. I mean, it sounds like we might be getting 2017 Jimmy G from an athletic standpoint, but now he has more prowess being in the offense for 3-4 years now at this point. This could be the best case scenario, regardless of who starts. So the fact that Jimmy looks good, I love it. I also have to say that I said on your show multiple times that if there was an outright competition, that Jimmy would fold. I didn't think a lot of him mentally. I'm wrong on that. And I'll take that.
Yeah, good for you, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Respect.
I love it.
Yeah, I love it
great.
too.
And the fact that it's just that he knows that he's not the future, and he's taking this and saying, listen, I'm going to play carefree.
Yep.
And personality-wise, you heard Debo reference it. You've heard Juszczyk reference it. That
and
he's a different guy in the huddle. And you heard Shanahan reference it.
He dropped an F-bomb in a press conference. I've never heard a player do that.
Right.
Let alone a quarterback. And not that there's anything wrong with it. I mean, Jimmy Ward did it on my channel. He wouldn't do it there. I'll tell you right now, he wouldn't do it there.
No.
Not that he's scared. It's just kind of like, it's not done. You know? It's just not done. And Jimmy did it. And he didn't even like, he wasn't like, oh, sorry about that. He was just like, I thought it was so cool.
Yeah.
I think he's really cool. I think Jimmy, I think you're cool. I like Jimmy.
I love it. I do love the fact that Jimmy is very carefree. He's playing that way. He's acting that way. And ultimately, like I said, regardless of who wins this competition, and don't kid yourself, it's absolutely a competition. Whoever wins this, the team's going to be better because of it. Absolutely, either way.
Yeah. And I just like reflecting on what I'm seeing from him, it feels like the same thing that happened to Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes. Like, Alex Smith was always a very talented quarterback. He could move. He had a strong arm. He's so smart. He could do everything. But God, he was conservative. He wouldn't pull the trigger, and it was maddening. And then the Niners moved on from him for that exact reason. And then he went to Kansas City, and played well, never did anything in the playoffs. But then finally, when they brought in Mahomes, Alex Smith started pulling the trigger that year. All of a sudden, he's throwing deep to Tyreek Hill. It's like, oh, what is this about? Oh,
Right.
because you see Patrick Mahomes in practice every day, and you realize these are the kind of things you need to do to hang on this team. And I feel like the same thing Jimmy's saying. It's like, oh, that's what you want. You want the off schedule. So that's because they say it's just about injuries, but it's not.
No.
You know, and it's like, oh, so that's what you feel I don't give you. Okay, well, let me see what I can do. And he was rolling left, rolling right. Also, his best play of the day was not rolling either way. It's the kind of stuff he used to do. It was a 3rd and 8, and D'Amico brings the house. It's an all-out blitz, and it's not picked up, and Fred Warner's right in his face, and he just off his back foot, falling away, flicks the ball to Trent Sherfield running like a whip route to the outside. Sherfield hasn't even come close to finishing his route, and he floats it out there and gets to him. It was like the anticipation, timing. It was great. That was Jimmy. Jimmy had a really nice day.
Yeah, and I know that you said that his best play was not necessarily off schedule, but the fact that he is starting to move, he's starting to throw while he's on the move, and sounds like even some crossbody throws, which is fantastic.
Yep.
Was he wearing the knee brace today?
Not that I could tell.
Okay.
And it seems like he loves throwing to Ayuk.
Yeah.
Ayuk, trust him, because Jimmy isn't the most like he has like high completion percentage, but he throws a lot of short passes. His ball placement isn't always super precise.
No.
And that's why, like, I don't know about the relationship between him and Debo, like over the middle of the field, but Ayuk really makes some amazing catches. We're gonna talk about that a little later. So they have a good relationship. Yep.
I think that's the biggest thing with Jimmy, and a lot of people want to point to stats. Well, look at his completion percentage, 69% in 2019 and yada, yada. It's not about completion percentage. Being an accurate quarterback has really little to do with the actual completion percentage. When most of your throws are near or behind the line of scrimmage, you should have a high completion percentage, but you just said it. It's actually making accurate throws and allowing your receivers to run after getting the ball, right?
Yep.
And throwing them open. And those are things that Jimmy has not done well. So a guy like Ayuk with long arms and makes amazing catches, it makes a lot of sense that he really does trust him and wants to look his way.
Yeah, so today was really best case scenario for the 49ers. Both quarterbacks play well. If Lance plays this well, as I said, he'll be the starter. But if Jimmy Garoppolo plays this well, that's good news too, because the Niners could trade him for, instead of a 6th-round pick, maybe they could get a 1st-round pick. I know they're holding out for a 1st, and it seems ridiculous. They would probably have to send some money back, but that doesn't mean they can't get a 1st-round pick. Jimmy has to keep playing well, but he has this winning record. He has pedigree. He's so likable and professional. I could see one team going for it, not falling for it, because I don't want to call him a fugazi or
right,
because he might not, he could not be. He certainly has a good resume in this league, and he's playing well right now. This could work out very well for the 49ers, and it seems like really they've been vindicated in how they've handled this thing all offseason. Holding on to Jimmy seems to be the right move for now.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And if nothing else, it's so that they can show that Trey, if he does win the starting job, and we're seeing it now with Jimmy playing as well as he is, if he wins the starting job and the team knows that he's the best player, he did it against the best Jimmy Garoppolo possible. And it's something that we've said all along. If Trey is at his best, which I find this funny because Shanahan said the exact opposite yesterday. He said if Jimmy's at his best, no rookie can beat him out. Listen, if Trey's at his best, there's nothing Jimmy can do to beat him out because he just doesn't – he's not playing with the same tools in his bag. Yep. So if Lance beats out the best Jimmy possible, this is a great scenario, even if they end up releasing Jimmy or whatever happens there. So these are all amazing things that I'm hearing.